Hi, physics. This is Mr. Janowski. This is Chapter 9, Homework 6, Problem 4. So, how do the kinetic energies of a semi-truck and car compare if the truck has 21.6 times the mass, but the car has 2.25 times the velocity? So, grab the red pen. What are we looking for? Step, How do the kinetic energies compare? So, what we want is Ke sub T, kinetic energy of the truck, over Ke sub C, kinetic energy of the car. So this is going to be equal to something, and the units for this will be nothing, because joules divided by joules gives you nothing, so there's no units for this. So again, the next thing you should do in one of these ratio problems is make a list of the things that you know. So there's some relationship between the mass of the truck and the mass of the car. The number is 21.6. So where does the 21.6 go, on the left or the right? The mass of the truck is 21.6 times the mass of the car. Therefore, it goes over here. And there's also a relationship between the velocities. So how do the velocities of the truck and the velocity of the car compare? The number is 2.25. So where does that number go? The car has 2.25 times the velocity. So however fast the truck is going, the velocity of the car is 2.25 times greater. So that means that one goes over here on the left. So that goes there. And again, I think it's a good idea. Just remind yourself, what is the formula for kinetic energy? Ke is 1/2 mv squared. So what do we do next? Write this. This is what we're looking for. We're going to use this idea to make a math problem that we can solve. So Ke sub T over Ke sub C, this is equal to something over something. Make the top something equal to the top thing. So kinetic energy of the truck is going to be 1/2 mass of the truck, velocity of the truck squared. Kinetic energy of the car, 1/2 mass of the car times velocity of the car squared. All right, at this point, the halves cancel. Those go away. But I can't cancel anything else yet because m sub t is not equal to m sub c, and v sub t squared is not equal to v sub c squared. So we have to go through this and decide to either keep or replace the things. So first things first, mass of truck. Well, that's very easy to replace, so I'm going to replace it. Because the mass of the truck, instead of writing m sub t again, I'm going to replace it with 21.6 mass of the car. Now, velocity of the truck, which that number gets squared, that would be tricky to replace because I've got this 2.25 in front. I'd have to get it over to the other side. So I'm going to keep velocity of the truck squared at this point. Excuse me. On to the bottom, mass of the car. Well, it'd be difficult to replace it. Also, the top's already in units of mass of car. So, units of mass of car in terms of mass of car. So, I'm keeping mass of car. And then velocity of the car. Okay, well, that one is easy to replace. Plus, the top is in v sub t's, so I want to get rid of the v sub c's. So, yeah, I'm replacing that one. Remember, because v sub c was getting squared and I'm replacing it, I have to make sure that I'm squaring the entire thing with which I'm replacing it. So that's what the parentheses are for. The most common mistake here would be to not end up squaring the 2.25 part. So at this point, I can cancel something. Mass of car and mass of car goes away. Because of PEMDAS, I've got to do this through before I actually end up canceling anything. So what do we have on top? 21.6, don't lose that guy. V sub t squared. Then on the bottom, so this is going to end up being 2.25 squared times v squared. So 2.25 squared, 5.0625 vt squared. Okay, now vt squared over vt squared, that does cancel away. So my answer is Ke sub t over Ke sub c. And what do I have? 21.6 over 5.0625 4.25. Okay, well, I'm not going to leave it like that. I definitely want to simplify that. So do 21.6 divided by 5.0625. And I end up with 4.26 repeating is what it looks like. All right. So you could do that repeating. Or you can just round off. Either way is fine. In math class, you would definitely want it to be the repeating one. But here in physics class, we're happy with just calling it a decimal. So you could leave it like that. Or you could say this, 4.27. Close enough. And then the way I wrote the answer up here, the other thing you can do is multiply both sides by KE sub C. So another correct way of writing this would be KE sub T is equal to 4.27 KE sub C. So either one of those ways is correct. Hopefully that helped.